Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com, and these are the market positions for April the 13th, 2010. Now, to get started right away, we're going to start with the Forex market, the British pound US dollar. We can see we have a fresh crossover from Vantage Point on the triple EMA crossover. We're now going to identify with that our pivot support. That comes in at 152.18, 152.75, and 153.38. Excuse me, 153.38 will be the primary focus for tomorrow. We're going to be looking to get into buy positions. We're going to stay with this new trend here that's just starting to develop. Whether the US dollar strengthens or weakens, it looks like the pound dollar is going to move higher. So we have 152.96 as a potential, again, a potential low, and 154.31 as a potential high. So we're trying to identify the predicted high and the predicted low. However, I believe the high is going to be higher and the low is going to be higher. So with that said, we're going to use for tomorrow, we're going to be using the predicted 3-day moving average from Vantage Point, which comes in at 153.38. So we're going to be looking for a slight pullback, not a very deep one. We've closed at 153.69. We're then going to be expecting a move over that 154 area, probably starting to push towards the 150.55 area. Now, the reason I say that, we've got this crossover on the triple EMA that took place back here in the end of January. That we can see this long trend that Vantage Point's very accurately called, that's taken us all the way into the 147 level. Now, we do have some support in this 154 area. However, that was cleared last night. We're going to wait and see if it can move higher, but I suspect if nothing else, this 152.18 area will hold. And when we're getting into positions like this, we want to identify where our stop is going to be, and in this particular case, our stop is going to be below the 152.18. Now, again, the pound dollar is very volatile, but I do expect it to move higher. Now, that's our first position for tomorrow. Now, we've identified the potential predicted high, the potential predicted low. Again, I'm looking for that move to 155. We'll see how that goes. Now, our next position, we're going to move off into the commodity futures market, specifically into crude oil contract. Now, even though the US dollar is weakening, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a given that crude oil is going to move higher. We've got this triple EMA crossover that's taken place from Vantage Point back here in the early part, the mid-February. We've come back, retested this, but you can see that we're starting to move lower again. So our pivot support here comes in at 83.51, 84.67, and 84.80 with a close of 84.34. Now, in this particular case, we do like to stay with the trend, however, expecting further potential weakness in the dollar and things of that nature. We're going to look at the predicted high and the predicted low for tomorrow. We're going to be primarily focusing on that, respecting the fact that we are likely to see a little bit further dollar weakness. So we have the Neural Index down for the fourth consecutive day. 83.44 is the predicted low. 85.30 is the predicted high. We're going to be looking at getting into buy positions anywhere between 83.50 and 84. Now, we've closed at 84.34, so on a minor pullback, we're going to be looking to get into buy positions. Again, I believe that this crossover that's taken place on the 3-day crossing over the 6-day predicted moving average from Vantage Point, it hasn't crossed over just yet. So again, we want to use these indicators here, or maybe a slight pullback, to get back into those buy positions. Now, 83.51 is the 18-day predicted moving average from Vantage Point, and in this particular case, that is our pivot support. So again, anywhere between 84 and 83.50, excellent area to get into buy positions. Now, we've got one more trade here for tonight. We're going to again be going back into the equity markets. We're going to try and cover a broader range of markets each night. We're going to try and touch on commodities, equities, and of course the Forex, which everybody I'm sure is well aware is my favorite. So with the S&P 500, we've moved above last night. We did move above that 1200 mark. I've suggested for months now that this is going to happen. That has actually has bared some fruit here. So it's moved, but it's subsequently pulled back below there. So we've closed at 1192.50. Not a big deal. We've got 1189.24, 1182.44, and the key area 1171.17 is pivot support. Now, looking at this, clearly we're overbought, but again, getting into overbought and oversold signals in a very strong move, overbought signals alone, trading off those is not always a great idea. So we've identified our key levels of pivot support. We now want to go in, look at the predicted high and the predicted low for the day from Vantage Point, and see if we can again narrow that entry point down somewhat. We've got 1187, excuse me, 38 is the low, 1192.50 is the close. So 1187.38, 1197.40 is the predicted high. So 1187.38, let's go in here, have a look at that and see what we've got. We've got the 1189.24 and 1182. I suspect that we're going to get this move somewhere just below this 1189, potentially 1182. So we're going to take the average of that area. We're going to say 1186 is where we're going to be looking to get into that buy position. I think Vantage Point's predicted low, pretty accurate. It's going to be pretty accurate for tomorrow in that 1187 area. We can also use that, and then I would expect a move above that 1200 mark in the days ahead. Now, using the Vantage Point software here, we're also going to go in just very quickly, and we are going to look at a couple of key indicators, overbought indicators specifically, the predicted RSI and the predicted TSI. Now, looking at these two indicators, we can see that the predicted RSI from Vantage Point is heavily overbought. Now, the predicted TSI is running flat, but a point of interest here is that we were in actually over the 100 area in the predicted RSI, and the market still continued to move higher. So again, just a point of interest that we do want to take note of the fact that it is overbought, but at the same time we have pulled back. It's corrected to the 60 level on the predicted RSI and now is beginning to move higher yet again. Now the predicted TSI running flat in extremely overbought territory, also sitting up above this 50 level, this positive 50 level, with positive 25 on the predicted TSI and actual overbought signals. So again, we are very overbought on this indice, but as I've said all along, the US based stocks in my opinion are grossly undervalued, and the S&P 500 has plenty of room to extend. So those are the market positions for April the 13th, 2010. And again, my name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com.